It's my distinct pleasure now to introduce our keynote speaker for today, Hamdi Ulukaya, the founder, chairman, and CEO of Chobani. Hamdi's story is a truly extraordinary story. He's an immigrant. He came to the United States more than 20 years ago from a Kurdish dairy farming family in Turkey. He came to study English, but then he took some business courses. He's turned into an extraordinary entrepreneur. He started in upstate New York making Greek feta cheese. In 2005, he purchased a decommissioned yogurt factory. In 2007, he started the company with 5 employees. 10 years later, 2,000 employees, #1 yogurt brand in the United States, and really the person responsible for popularizing Greek yogurt in America. But I think what is distinctive about Hamdi is not just his business success, it's the fact that he is such a humanitarian. He considers giving back an integral part of everything that he does. In 2016, for example, he gave his employees 10% of Chobani's total worth through a profit-sharing program. He's also the founder of the Tent Foundation, which seeks to mobilize the private sector to improve the lives and livelihoods of millions of refugees all around the world. He describes his life as one of balance. He's a shepherd and a warrior, a fierce competitor and a business leader with a giant heart and a conscience to do the right thing. Tomorrow at Penn's commencement, I will be on stage with him because he's receiving the highest honor the university has to bestow, which is an honorary doctorate of humane letters. Please join me in welcoming Hamdi to the podium.
Thank you, Dean Garrett. Thank you, Dean Garrett. Members of the board, faculty and staff, family and friends, let me be the first to say, congratulations, Wharton MBA Class of 2018. It occurs to me that I stand before you today, an immigrant, a Kurd from Turkey, who sold his first Greek yogurt to a kosher deli, speaking to a school founded by Quaker, in arena whose name is Latin, to graduate from 71 different countries, just 3 miles from where the Constitution is written. Honestly, I cannot think of anything more American than that. Two months ago, I had a chance to visit with Dean Garrett and some of your classmates to learn about this special place. I confessed them. I said, I never went to business school. As far as I'm concerned, as far as I can tell, what qualifies me to be here to speak to you today, it's not just because I'm a CEO or an entrepreneur or I make the best yogurt in the world. I used to make jokes about Harvard Business School. I think that's why I'm here. I know they won't ask me to speak to them next year, so. But seriously, the business education you've gotten here is the best in the world. You should be as proud of that fact as your families and your friends are proud right now. Isn't that true, Mom and Dad? And speaking of mothers, happy Mother's Day to all the mothers are here and all the mothers around the world. As I wondered what to say here today, I turned to people I always turn to for wisdom and advice. I asked some of the men and women who work with me at the plant at Chobani, that what would be my message today? Here's what they said. It's great that you are in Wharton MBA, but please, don't act like it. They didn't mean, they didn't mean that as an insult, or they didn't mean to be funny. It really, really wise advice. What they mean is, don't let it be a burden on you. Don't let it get into the way of seeing people as people and all they have to offer you, regardless of their title or their position. What my brothers and sisters at Chobani wanted me to say, that is, if you want to fly high in business or in life, you've got to keep your feet on the ground and stay rooted. To see what matters the most. To be honest, when I was younger, I didn't have a high opinion of business. I was raised as a son of a farmer, spending time with shepherds, caring for animals up in the mountains. To me, people who succeed in business were in glass towers, looking down on people, making decisions that hurt families. It took me a long time to realize that business doesn't have to be in a dirty field. You can put all of your passion into doing good. In fact, there is no field like it. In business, you learn about ROI, return on investment. You should also know about ROK, return on kindness. With return on kindness, you can immediately see results. That's something I learned about business in upstate New York, in America. My journey here started like any other immigrants. Not much of a plan. I started in New York City. One day I was invited to upstate, and I fell in love. It reminded me of home, so I stayed. I started a small cheese company. And in 2005, I saw an ad that said, fully equipped yogurt plant for sale. I threw it to the garbage can. And 20 minutes later, I picked it back up and went to visit the plant next day. It was 85 years old, and it was closing. Because somebody in a glass tower far away, sight unseen, decided to close it. There were 55 employees, and their only job was to break the plant apart and working to end their jobs forever. It was like someone had died. And everyone in the community felt it. And like any of us would say, they wondered, are we not good enough? The company wasn't just giving up on yogurt or on plant. It was giving up on them. When I heard the sale price, I honestly thought they forgot a zero. It was so cheap because it was so old. So I called my attorney, Mario, and I said, I want to buy this plant. He said, Hamdi, the largest food company in the world closing this plant, they're getting out of yogurt business. Who the hell are you to think that you can make it work? I said, you're right. But I called him again next day. I said, no, really, I want to buy this plant. So this time Mario said, you have no money. You have no money and you haven't paid me in the last 6 months. Which was true. To make the story short, by August 15, 2005, I had a key for this old factory. The first thing I did was to hire 4 of the 55 employees to come and help me to start the plant back up. I'll name them Maria, who was the office manager, Frank, the wastewater guy, Rich, the production manager, and Mike, the mechanic. So 4 factory workers and me. And we sat down for our first board meeting. So Mike said, Hamdi, so what are we going to do next? Remember, these are people who love this place, spend their lives here, raise their kids here. They didn't just want to bring it back, they wanted to make it better than before. And they look at me as if I had the magic answer. I said, we're going to go Ace Hardware store, we're going to buy some paint, and we're going to paint the walls. Mike said, Hamdi, that's fine, we'll do that, but tell me you have more ideas than that one. I said, I do. We're going to paint the walls white. Honestly, I had no other ideas than that one. Swear to God, nothing. But I gotta tell you about this thing. As the poet Rumi, who lived in Turkey, said, when you start walking the way appears. When you start walking the way appears. That summer, we painted those walls. Along the way, we came up with more ideas. Every day for the next 2 years, we worked on the recipe for our yogurt. Once I knew it was perfect, meaning it was as good as the yogurt my mother made, we launched Chobani in late 2007. Time passed, and eventually we hired almost all of that 55 workers back. Then we hired 100 more, then 100 more after. And we started to grow fast. I knew the promise of what we started, but I questioned myself many times. I got to the point where I wasn't sure if I was able to do it. I had never met anyone who had done this before. So maybe I thought I should hire a CEO with more experience. So I found this guy who was a big shot, another company. He had a lot of experience, MBA, big salary, stories written about him. So here I am, 1-bedroom apartment in Utica, going to Dunkin' Donuts every morning for tea and bagel and cream cheese, double toasted, you know. One day I met him in a diner. He was so anxious to impress me, he completely dismissed the waitress. He was he was really rude to her, disrespected her. For me, this wasn't a sign of power. It was a sign of weakness. It showed lack of character. Thanks to him, I realized 2 things. One, I would never hire this guy. I would never hire him into my company. Second, he enforced everything I believed about business my whole life. He forgot what was important. I realized that moment I had more in me than I thought. I decided to put my faith in the people of that plant and that community, to believe in them as much as they were hoping that they could believe in me. I spent every day on that floor for 5 years, on that factory floor, working shoulder to shoulder with the team. Together, we get elevated. For us, the purpose of elevation wasn't just to make money, but to fix this plant. By fixing this plant, we would fix this community. And ultimately, we would fix ourselves and find ourselves. Together, we started to rebuild the community. For every person we hired, 10 local jobs get created. People start building homes. Farms came back to life. Businesses started opening. Roads got busy. There was optimism in the air. And the best part, the first money we made, we built a Little League baseball field for our children. I wanted to be better than the one in Cooperstown, the best in the world, and it is. Why? Because I wanted people in my community to know that they deserve the best. Their kids deserve the best. We believed in each other, we walked away, and the way started to appear. In 5 years, we went from 5 people to more than 2,000 people. We went from 0 sales to more than $1 billion in sales. We went from nowhere to the top brand in America. Any case study would tell you that it was impossible. Any case study. With the resources we had, the old factory, the community left behind, any case study would say it's just impossible. Remember, I had no money. But if you believe in people you work with, and listen to them, and learn from them, and give them a reason to believe in you, everything is possible. And that's what the people at Chobani meant when they said, you might be an MBA, just don't act like one. Acknowledging the wisdom and experience of a forklift operator or a security guard with 30 years on the job doesn't diminish your own experience. Acknowledging the sacrifice of others that enable you to be in this position does not diminish sacrifices that you made on your own. Be kind of a person, be kind of a leader that the other people want to sacrifice for. Be good to waiters, huh? Be good to waiters. Ask others for advice, no matter what their job is, and listen to them. Really listen to their answers. The best part of Chobani for me is the same exact people who have been given up on were the ones who built it back 100 times better than before. The same people. Brothers and sisters, here's what I have found. In every community across America and across the world, the same thing is true. There are plants that have been shut down. There are communities that have been left behind. And they are angry at the people on those high towers who gave up on them. But at the same time, they are waiting for somebody to believe in them again, to give them a chance, not to just build it back, but build it back better than ever before. Everything we need to write next great chapter for this country and to this planet already exists in towns and communities. It's just waiting to be awakened. Graduates, I know who you are because I met some of you. Because of what you have inside of you, what your mindset is, and what you have learned here at this school. You, the Wharton MBA graduates of 2018, you can be the ones who lead us all to a better day. We are entering a new era. Dean Garrett mentioned a little bit about it. When the center of gravity for change is changing, has moved to the private sector. It's business, not government, that is in the best position to lead today. It's not government hiring refugees, it's business. It's not government cutting emissions, it's business. It's not government standing up to gun violence, it's business. It's not government that's going to create opportunity and inequality. It's business. You, the students I met here, forgive me if I don't pronounce right, Zia, Simone, Paula, Bryce, I got that one right, Prathama and Remy, and you, the entire class of 2018, you are the ones that we have been waiting for. The Chobani journey has taught me something special. What matters most in business and in life is the difference you make for other people and for your community. And for your community, and for your country, and for humanity. If it can happen in a small town in upstate New York or in a small town in Idaho, it can happen every town, every city across America. And it can happen the same way it's always happened here, by working together and believing tomorrow will be better than today. So where do we begin, class of 2018? Let me suggest 3 things. 1, please come up here and get your diploma. 2, celebrate this moment with your friends and family. And 3, as soon as you can, start painting a wall. I'll leave the color up to you. Thank you so much.